Good morning. Today's story time is going to be about pets. So we'll get started with our opening song. I wiggle my fingers, I wiggle my toes, I wiggle my shoulders, I wiggle my nose. Now the wiggles are all out of me, and I'm just as still as I can be. Our first story today is What Pet to Get by Emma Dodd. Let's get a pet, said Jack one day. I promise I'll look after it. If you like, dear, replied his mother absent-mindedly. What pet should we get? Just thought about it for a little while. I think we should get an elephant, he announced. I could ride it to school. An elephant would be nice, dear, said Mom, but not very practical. How would we take it on vacation? On the roof rack, of course, said Jack. I don't think so, dear, said Mom. It might squash the car. Maybe not an elephant then, said Jack. What about a lion, he said. I'd remember to feed it every day. That would be super, dear, replied Mom, but lions do have very big appetites. And anyway, it would frighten the mail carrier. I hadn't thought of that, said Jack. Jack thought some more. I think we should get a polar bear, he said. It would make a great playmate. A polar bear would be lovely, dear, replied his mother, but I don't think it would like the central heating. I suppose not, agreed Jack. Jack thought about some more. What pet to get? Could we get a Tyrannosaurus Rex, he asked. I could take it for walks. That would have been a great idea, dear, replied Mom, but unfortunately the Tyrannosaurus Rex has been extinct for 65 million years. What a shame, said Jack. Well, what about a giraffe? Too tall? A rhino? Too wide? A bison? Too smelly. A crocodile? Too snappy. I suppose a shark is out of the question? Yes, dear, sighed Mom. Perhaps you could try to think of something less exotic. Early the next morning, Jack announced, I've got it. Let's get a dog. That's an excellent idea, dear, said Mom. We'll go this morning and choose a lovely little puppy. And now we're going to sing a song that most of you probably know about a dog named Bingo. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, you want to sing it with me? There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Now we're going to move on to the second story. The Grumpy Pets, Christine A. Lombardi. I have one grumpy pet at home. It's a cat. She always looks like she's not very happy. Mom took Billy and Sarah to Perfect Pets one Saturday. Mom worried that Billy always seemed unhappy. She hoped that a special trip would give him a reason to smile. Who wouldn't help but smile with so much cuteness everywhere? It seemed everyone was finding their perfect pets, especially Sarah. But Billy was not amused. He began to look around, but every single pet was just so happy. This one's happy, this one's happier, and this one's way too happy. Ugh, Billy thought to himself. So he walked up and down the aisles. Then he heard a noise, and there in the back were bark, growl, hiss. The grumpy pets. Row upon row of scruffy, grouchy faces. They were crabby, cranky, and moody, a little like Billy. Billy stared at one of the dogs, and the dog stared right back. Billy made a face. So did the dog. Billy took a step closer. The dog did too. And then, slurp. I'll take him. The volunteer handed Billy the dog. And then Billy held him. They stayed like that for a long time. Everyone had found their perfect pet. Even Billy. Okay, we're going to do one more song. Not really a song. Well, I guess it is a little song. The Parts of the Dog. The tail on the dog goes wag, 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 wag. The tail on the dog goes wag, wag, wag. Dog starts with D. The nose on the dog goes sniff, 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 sniff. The nose on the dog goes sniff, sniff, sniff. Dog starts with D. The ears on the dog go flop, 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 flop. The ears on the dog go flop, flop, flop. Dog starts with D. You want to try that one more time? Let's start with the tail. The tail on the dog goes wag, 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 wag. The tail on the dog goes wag, wag, wag. Dog starts with D. The nose on the dog goes sniff, 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 sniff. The nose on the dog goes sniff, sniff, sniff. Dog starts with D. The ears on the dog go flop, 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 flop. The ears on the dog go flop, flop, flop. Dog starts with D. Now we're going to do our last story. The Birthday Pet by Ellen Havernick, illustrated by Kevin O'Malley. It was Danny's birthday, and his folks said he could get any kind of animal he wanted for a pet. Danny thought it over before he went to bed. All I really want is a turtle, he said. But instead, Dad said, you don't want a pet that sits like a log. So he went out and got Danny a dog. The dog knocked Danny over when they went outside to play. If Danny took her walking, she always ran away. How's the dog? Asked his father. Danny shook his head. All I really want is a turtle, he said. But instead, Mom said, a turtle's not cuddly or soft like a mitten. So she went out and got Danny a kitten. The kitten was cuddly, but it made Danny sneeze, and he always had to get it down from the trees. How's the kitten? Asked his mother. Danny shook his head. All I really want is a turtle, he said. But instead, his big brother said, you ought to pick a pet more exciting than that. So he went out and got Danny a rat. The rat's beady eyes were a scary sight, and the rat kept Danny up when it gnawed in the night. How's the rat? Asked his brother. Danny shook his head. All I really want is a turtle, he said. But instead, his older sister said, you would like a turtle? A turtle is absurd. So she went out and got Danny a bird. The bird only nipped. It didn't even talk. It was sort of pretty, but it had a nasty squawk. How's the bird? Asked his sister. Danny shook his head. Not one of you listened to anything I said. So instead, his family got Danny a turtle with a nice hard shell. Danny couldn't wait for his show and tell. The turtle blinked her eyes and never made a sound. She played peekaboo as she crawled around. He fed her bugs and lettuce, and he made a turtle gin. Danny thought the turtle was the perfect pet for him. So Dad kept the dog, his brother kept the rat, his sister kept the bird, and his mom kept the cat. Danny kept the turtle, and that was the end of that. Now we're going to do our closing song. Before we do that, I just want to remind you that we do have curbside service from 10 to 3 Monday through Friday with a limit of 5 books per family. You can go on the catalog and reserve your books, or you can give us a call and we can reserve them for you. So we're going to do our closing song. Tickle the clouds, tickle your toes, turn around and touch your nose. Crouch down low and reach up high. Story time's over. Wave goodbye. See you next time.